Okay, I'm here today with Chantel Jones. She is the site program director for the Alexandria St. Coletta Adult Program. She has been in the human services field for 15 years and has worked for St. Coletta, the Alexandria location, for 11 years. So we are so happy to have you here with us today. In lieu of the regular transition training, we are recording this to post on our website so parents can have the information. So the first question is, can you tell me what agency you work for and what services does it provide?
So I work with St. Coletta of Greater Washington, and we provide day habilitation services for both DC and Virginia residents, and we provide employment readiness services for DC residents.
Great. And what are the qualifications for someone to be found eligible to access your program?
So actually, we start supporting adults at 18, even though most wait until 22 to apply. And they have to be eligible for ID/DD services. We receive funding, local funding for community service board with Virginia, and waiver services as well.
Okay, so for someone, if a parent was interested in your program for their child would have to, or their adult child would have to have services through DDA or the program in Virginia, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And how would someone go about, I was going to say apply, but let's just start with information. Like, let's say a parent is kind of interested, how do they start?
So our website, stcoletta.org, has a tab for adult services, and you can find information about the adult program in Alexandria on that tab. If you continue to be interested, scheduling a tour, of course, once we reopen and we have kind of some things set up, there may be a virtual tour that you can take to make sure that the environment is appropriate for your adult. And then we can discuss filling out the application. And once the application is submitted, a person will go on a wait list. And when we're ready to, or slots are available, we start the assessment and intake process. The assessment process is determining if we can safely support the adult and if the adult is interested in what type of services we provide.
Great. And I'm glad you mentioned the wait list. Do you currently have a wait list, and how long do families typically have to wait to get in?
So we do have a wait list, and I can't tell you the number now. I usually have to access that. But I would say there are roughly 30 people on the full-time list, and there's 10 people on the part-time. We do offer part-time services, and part-time equals anything under 5 days a week. So anything other than 5 days a week is considered part-time. So we have more slot availability for part-time than we do right now for full-time.
Great, thank you. And how long can someone access your program?
For our DC resident, it's pretty much outlined. For employment readiness, they can stay under that service for up to 2 years, and they will need to transition either to another day program or employment readiness program, or transition to supported employment, or to become fully employed. For day habilitation, they can stay under the day habilitation service for as long as they need. And there's no end time to that. The only stipulation is that it is 4 days a week versus the full-time slot. So it's 24 hours out of the week. And then for our Virginia residents, there's no end. It's just as long as we're able to safely support and show growth in their goals. And if there are support needs that will continue on in their life as they age, we will continue to provide those services.
Great.
So no end time for Virginia, and then a few mile markers for DC.
Got it. And if it were a DC resident who was coming to your program, does DDA provide transportation? How would they be transported to your program?
Yes, so that is provided through the waiver service. I believe they're still under NTM that is partnering with DDA, and we have several providers under MTM that transport adults from DC to Virginia. Also, there are a few that use Metro Access, and then there are very few parent drop-offs. So that's how transportation works with DC. For Virginia, similarly, they have Logistic Care that works with local funding as well as the waiver services, and Metro Access as well as parent drop-off.
Great, thank you. And I guess this is my final question before I let you kind of add any other information you want to share. What advice would you give to parents of children with disabilities or intellectuals or individuals with disabilities themselves who are thinking about the time period when they transition to adulthood or approaching that time period? What advice would you give to them?
Start early, get as much information as possible as soon as you can. View several programs, always have a backup, because what you don't want is a gap in services. You want to make sure that you have placement as soon as your adult graduates. You don't want any lapse, and in order to do that, there are some steps that take longer than others. I'm sure there are wait lists at several programs, so you're going to want to be placed on these wait lists as soon as you possibly can.
Great, thank you so much. And did you have anything else you wanted to share with parents, either about your program or just the process of transitioning to adulthood in general?
No, I think we covered everything. So no, I don't have anything additional.
And can parents reach out to you if they have questions or if they're interested in the program?
Yes, I believe my contact information is on the website, but if not, I'm Chantel Jones, and I can be reached at chantel.jones@stcoletta.org. Chantel is spelled with a C, CHANTEL, JONES @stcoletta.org. And that's right now is the only way to reach me until we reopen, and then you can reach me at 571-438-6940.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Jones. I hope you have a wonderful day. We appreciate your time.
Same to you. Thank you.
Thank you.